Hello, welcome to RC Video Reviews. Today we're taking a look at the F4U Corsair from FMS. Before I get into the content, I need to let you know this video is sponsored by FMS, who sent me this Corsair for review. I'll have affiliate links in the description if you'd like to pick one up for yourself. Thanks to FMS for sending this model out. Let's get into it. If you watched the first look video, the model was boxed up just fine. They used a lot of styrofoam and plastic to protect the parts, the painted parts, from being damaged or scraped. Didn't have any issues there. The motor's already installed. All you really have to do up front is stick the motor on. You basically sandwich the prop between two hub plates. There's an aft plate and a forward plate. You sandwich the prop in between those two, stick it on there, and then screw down this bullet nose, and that's about it. So very simple assembly up front. The wings screw on with a couple of screws underneath, and then the stabilizers in the back have a couple of screws. You can see the one for the horizontal stabilizer right there, and then there's also some on the bottom. The major effort out of all the labor involved in putting this together was I actually had to put the control horns on. That's about it. So fit and finish wise, I think the Corsair looks fantastic. It is a good looking model. Here's a look inside. There is my EPW6 Express LRS receiver. No gyro in this one. Also, if you can see it right down there, there's a GPS unit, so we'll see how fast this goes. There's the distribution board, and there is my 4-cell 2650 battery connected to the ESC. The ESC, by the way, sits right on top of that battery. It's kind of odd, but it just kind of rests there on top of the battery. So I think it'll be fine. It's definitely not going to go anywhere, I can tell you that. So that's it inside the canopy.
Hey, and check it out. The pilot has a brand new pair of Oakleys today.
Yeah, nice Oakleys on the pilot, very good. All right, here's a look at the belly of the airplane. As you can see, the gear is down right now. I'll bring it up so you can see it fold and retract into the wing. Very nice, nice rotation. And then there's a sequencer built in that closes the door, so just beautiful. The tail wheel doesn't move in this one, so that stays extended. Just be aware in case you're wondering. And then here come the gear being extended. Very, very nice. And then I'll give you a quick look at the flaps. These are the flaps in the takeoff position. Normally I aim for about 15 degrees and about 40 degrees on takeoff. That's normally what I aim for, and I adjust the suit.
Look at how those split flaps work.
Yeah, isn't that cool
as hell? Yeah.
There's that little plastic right in there in between the segments. There's a plastic bar in there that keeps them all working together. Very cool.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Next up, we're going to weigh it, and then we're going to run a watt meter test and a thrust test so we can get some power specs on this plane, then we'll fly it. Here's a look at the Corsair on the scale. This is, remember, flying a 4-cell 2650 battery, and on the scale, we're seeing 5.95. Or 5.10, so 5 pounds, 10 ounces. And that is all up. Everything in the plane that's necessary to fly. All right, let's go do a watt test and a thrust test. Next up is our watt meter test. Dave's gonna operate the throttle and we'll see how much power this motor generates. So go ahead, Dave, whenever you're ready. 51 amps and about 760, okay. So I saw about 50 amps and about 760 watts. So next up is the thrust test. Here we go with the thrust test. Dave's going to bring the throttle up and we'll see how much this one pulls. £6 pounds. There we go. Very good. I see 6 pounds on the scale. So wow. 6 pounds of thrust and
5 point. It's got more thrust than weight, though.
Yeah.
Thrust to weight ratio. No kidding.
Yeah, just slightly more. So a little
nice.
over 1-to-1 on thrust to weight, which is good.
Oh, nice. Well, for this, you know, we're not talking about a 3D plane. Yeah, that's very nice.
Here we go with the maiden flight of the FMS Corsair. Nice little profile shot on the ground before taking off. We'll flip her around, turn her into the wind. And for the maidens, I don't use flaps. So if you're wondering, no flaps. I leave them off. I like to feel the plane first, then I worry about flaps later. Okay, here we go, taking off. All right, I'm gonna get it up in the air and trim it. I needed a couple clicks of up and a couple clicks of left aileron, and I'm going to bring the gear up now. Remember, there's a sequencer, so there go the gear. And I see they are tucked away. All right, let's do some stuff. I will do a stall test. I will do a yaw test. We'll do that because we want to make sure the airframe is straight, and that applies no matter what kind of airplane you're flying. Look at that Corsair, man. Just beautiful. I always love the Corsair. Such a cool design. Okay, first up we'll do a yaw test. I've got a tailwind right now, which is okay. I can live with that. Power's coming off, and you saw it drop to the left, so I'm going to give a couple clicks of right, and we're going to try it again. I'll do it into the wind this time. Here we go, Dave. Another yaw test. All right, off power, and that time it went to the right, so we were really close. One more check. All right, power's coming off and to the left. So yeah, I'm kind of splitting it. I think that's good enough. All right, the next thing we want to do is a quick stall test to see how the airplane performs during stall recovery. So the wind is coming to my right. I'm going to do my stall into the wind. So I'll make some turns to set up so I can bring it around into the wind. And we'll do a quick stall test. All right, here we go. About a 30 to 40 degree upline, power comes off, and we look for the stall. There it is. And yeah, a little bit of a wing dip, but not bad. It recovers like I'd expect a Warbird to recover. Let's put it that way. It's fine. No surprises. Oh man, love a Corsair. All right, let's do a loop. Make sure the tail is straight and it tracks straight going through the loop. Yep, I'd say that looks pretty good. Yeah, very straight. No problems there at all. Perfect.
14.8 volts.
14.8 volts. I've got the GPS in there, so we're already down on the voltage. Let's see what it does after we've kind of hit the voltage a little bit. I'll do a downwind run. We'll take advantage of the altitude and wind. I'm going to bring it around and do a high-speed pass so we can see how fast it goes. Very nice, very nice. Sounds good. I don't hear anything that's alarming to me on this plane at all. It sounds great, looks great, flies just like you'd expect it to. Let's do a roll. Let's see, I want to see how it does on the longitudinal axis around a roll. Fine, no problems there. Very good. We'll do a little Cuban 8 here. Yeah, lovely. Very good. Nice flying airplane. It's not, let's talk a little bit about power. We'll do a straight climb up, and I am at full power right now. There it goes, that quit. So it's not unlimited vertical, but it's strong. It's strong. It's actually, I mean, I gotta be honest with you, it kind of feels like how I'd like a scale plane to feel, right? It's not ridiculously strong where you can climb forever or gain speed while you're climbing. And keep in mind, I'm into the pack a little bit, but it did fine on the climb out. Just what you'd expect on a Warbird like this. I think, bottom line, the power feels appropriate for the plane. Let's leave it at that. All right, that wraps up my maiden testing. Next I'm gonna do is bring it around. We're gonna get the gear down and we're gonna do the first approaches with this Corsair. So gear coming down now. We'll see how we do with gear. I am not gonna land with flaps. I'm gonna just land flaps up because I've got a huge runway and I don't really need to have the flaps. Whoa. All right, I'm gonna go around. A little bit more of a sink rate than I planned for on that, so we'll go around. And we'll try it again. Very, very nice. Yeah, really good.
Beautiful. Flies fantastic.
Yeah.
It looks gorgeous. Very nice.
Corsair, man, whistling death, right? That's what they called this one. They said if you hear a whistle on the battlefield, run.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, good looking airplane. Always has been. All right, let's bring it back to the table and wrap it up. Even after running the battery down a little bit, I did want to show you the GPS. It looks like 70 miles per hour was the max. So that was pretty good. Now, granted, I cheated a little. I used altitude as my friend and I went downwind, but 70 miles an hour. And that was after being into the battery for a few minutes. So not bad. There's a look at the final battery voltage. It's looking like 3.74 volts per cell. So I was right to land when I did. And the flight time on that one was 6 minutes and 18 seconds. So about 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes, and you get about 3.75 at the end, which is pretty good. That's reasonable. I like it. That wraps up the maiden flight of the FMS Corsair. I want to make sure I say thanks to FMS for sending this unit out for review and remind you there are affiliate links in the description if you'd like to pick one up for yourself. So let's wrap it up. All I can say is that for a very minimal amount of effort, and I'm talking minimal build time, minimal time in the garage assembling it, you get a Corsair that looks scale. It's got a decent power plant. It's just over 1-to-1 power to weight, which is decent. I love the 4-bladed prop with the yellow tips. That looks good. The decals look good. And all I can say is the quality of the airframe out of the box is basically perfect. I didn't mention the nav lights, but you do have nav lights right there on the wingtip, and there's landing lights right there at the wing where the gull wing bends and changes direction. So the landing lights are actually kind of cool. On final, they look really sharp. I like the landing gear. The retracts fold up and they're tucked away by door covers. And I really like the flaps. The flap mechanism on this airplane is really good. You've got the split, they're not technically split flaps, but they're partition flaps. A split flap is where the flap resides under the trailing edge of the wing and it separates from the wing and drops down. That's what I would traditionally call split flaps. So I want to be careful with that vernacular, but you do have a 3-segment flap and they're integrated. So they've done a really nice job with that. And I guess in the looks department, the decals, fantastic. That's all I've got. I hope you liked the video. And if you did, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when new videos hit the channel. That's all I've got for today. Take it easy and go fly something.
Hasta la vista.